Okay, so this is dried overnight, so I can now start to think about finishing and how I want everything to look. So I'm just going to take everything apart again. So I'm going to take all the tape off I don't need. And you can test if your sample part has dried. So this is nice and hard, so I can feel that that's all gone off. And then I'm going to start to tape. So this video is all going to be about how you can finish these connections. So they come in a standard black, and it's really easy now to apply colours and finishes to them. So yeah, so I'm going to do some painting and so on. If you wanted, you could put stickers on. So if you know, like, I don't know, Thomas the Tank stickers, whatever you fancy. Or dogs or animals, you could put stickers on. That would be really easy, just to create some customization. You could put the child's name on if you wanted to get stickers done. So there's loads of customization you can do. What I'm going to do today is I've got some spray paints in the workshop. You could pick up any automotive spray paint. So go down to your local auto shop, and any of those paints will work really well on this. So I'd advise getting those, or you can order them online on Amazon. So any of those places, Amazon or Walmart, or wherever you fancy, or Asda. So we'll just, as I said, I'm going to strip the frame down because I don't want to paint any of the parts. So I want to leave the wheels this colour. So I'm going to take all these parts off. So that wheel will now just slide out easily. Bang. And I'm going to take off this headset. And I think I might paint the fork. So I might leave it like this. And then I will just cover the bits that I don't. So anything that you don't want to paint, you need to cover in masking tape. So I'm going to leave the bamboo in its natural form. So, like so. So I'm just going to tape around all the bamboo, and you just want to be as neat as possible when you tape, because that's going to keep everything looking nice and smart. If you have got any glue or any excess glue on the bamboo or on anything, you can obviously just remove that, and I would use the back of a knife just to scrape that off. That's probably the easiest way. So I'm just masking this off. So again, if you wanted to create racing stripes or anything like that, you could do that just by taping parts of it off. So this is where you can really kind of customize. So just try and get the tape as neat as possible. So if I've got any overlaps, I'm just going to remove them. Any gaps, I'm going to cover up. So just check. It's very easy to miss parts and not get it perfectly aligned. So just try and check everything. With finishing, it's really about the preparation and eye for detail. So just trying to get everything nice and neatly. So you could sand off the black paint, but I would leave the black paint on because it acts as a really good base layer. So it means that that the paint will glue really well to it. So I would leave the black paint on as a base layer, kind of like a primer, and that will keep everything. I'm not going to paint any of these parts, so I'm going to take all of these off. If you want, you could just remove them, but I think it's going to be easier to have the fork on here. So I'm going to leave that on. So I'm just going to check all of this over. Okay, so I think that's ready to paint now pretty much. So I'm just going to check everything. Make sure this is all neatly on. And then I'm going to get rid of anything that I don't want to paint. Personally, if you're doing this at home and you're doing it indoors, you want to try and wear a mask. If you've got space, I would probably do this in the garden where you're well ventilated. You can just use hand paints if you want, so you could just brush on paints. A spray can's really quick and easy. I've got a mask here, so I'm going to wear a mask for this. So and now this is where the fun stuff happens. Okay, so we're going to pop this on. So I put one coat on, and so I would follow the manufacturer's guidance, but just wait for a few minutes for that to dry. Okay, so I've given this a bit of time to set, so you can just check it, and it's worth then removing all the tape relatively quickly. So I'm going to take all the tape off, because what I'm going to do now is just put a protective coating onto the bamboo and the lugs themselves. So you don't have to do this, but if your child is going to use the bike in the rain and so on, it's worth just keeping it nice and cleanable. So if you just put you can use like a household varnish, like a yacht varnish, so just a clear coat, or you can use like a polyurethane spray. So that's a clear coat. So you can order a clear coat anywhere, or again, you can get it at automotive places. So the good thing about polyurethane spray is it's quite flexible and it's wipeable and so on. So I'm going to leave the tape on here because I'm not going to cover that in any protective coating. So tape can be joyful to remove. And if you want to just get your hobby knife, just gently peel this back. Okay, so that's all the clear coat, the tape off, and now I'm ready to do a clear coat. So I'm going to put my mask back on. I've got some controversial clear coat. So I've had this in the workshop a while, and it's a transparent finish with multicolored metallic flakes. So it's got like a glitter. And I have never used it on a bike before. thought I'd try it for this build and just see how it looks, because yeah, so the finishing, you can do any colour, so please don't think of this as a yellow bike or a black bike. It can be blue, it can be green, it can be any colour you want. So it's really down to your imagination. So just think about what you would like your bike to look like. I don't want to influence you guys at all in terms of how your bikes will look. And the more creative you can be, the better. So I'm just showing you a quick way to how to finish, and okay, so the clear coat is all set now, and it's now time to turn everything into a bike. So we're going to need an Allen key. Ta-da! So just a simple Allen key with 3 different sizes, that's all you're going to need. And we can bring back in all our wheels and other parts into the picture. So we've got our 2 wheels, our bamboo handlebars, and our seat post and saddle, okay, and then our fittings as well for the wheels. So I can remove all this tape now. So get rid of that, and I'm going to start to fit the wheels. So the first front wheel, you just need to pop into the fork. So you just need to pull the fork, line it up here, pull the fork apart a little bit, and then slide that in. It can be a little bit tricky, but it does go quite easily when you get, okay. So that's in. Then we take our 2 fittings, just put them in by hand first. So pop them in by hand, because then you know you won't cross thread them. And cross threading is where you put the bolt in at an angle and it cuts a new thread. But what it will do is it will damage the threads beyond repair. So you want to be really careful of cross threading. So just do it all by hand. If you start doing it straight away with the tool, it's a lot easier to cross thread. So do it by hand first, and then use the tool to tighten that up. And this has got a really nice design. So the axle sits inside of the fork, so it's really, really snug and simple to fit. And then the bolts just really make it really firm and safe. So just turn that up and just tighten them both up. Okay. And then I'm going to put the rear wheel on. So again, just sliding on. So I think I've got these bolts the wrong way round. So you want to ideally just place them so they go inside, and you've got this little chamfered edge there that will sit on the frame itself. So you'll see it, there's kind of an abrasive side that you want on the inside there. So I'm just going to flip those round, and I'm going to put them on the wheel first. It's going to be a bit easier then. Again, doing it by hand, so we're not going to cross thread, and then we're going to just slide that in place. Okay. And then just pull that in so it's into the dropouts, so it's fully engaged in the slot, because it's obviously on a slot, so you can easily not put enough of it into the frame. So just pull that in using your spare finger or hand, and then tighten that up. Just tighten one side up, then tighten the others, and I would just do one at a time. So just tighten them a little bit and then do a bit more once you've got one in, and then do a bit more, and just slowly making sure that that's tightened as much as possible. It's always worth just checking these things twice. Then we're going to put our seat in. So it's an integrated seat, and it's got a big bit at the back, so you can push your child along if you want to. And the seat post will come out the bottom, so we've designed it so that you get a lot more room in the frame, so it will last for longer depending on the child. So just slide that in. If your child's just starting out, I'd probably have it near the bottom, because then they can just get used to the bike to begin with, and then as they get more confident, you can raise the saddle up a bit. I know with my child, he struggles sometimes to just get on the frame, so just because it's an unfamiliar thing to climb onto a bike and putting your leg over and everything else, so it's worth starting at a low setting. So just tighten that up with the seat clamp that's on there. And then you've got the bamboo handlebar. So you'll see the logo on the bamboo handlebar, the little Bamboo Bicycle Club logo. So you want to position that in the middle. So we're going to take all these bolts off. So if they're a little bit tight, just use the Allen key. I've already hand loosened mine. Having shot this video already, my camera didn't record. So doing it again. So then position this, and then take your cap and place it back on. And what you want to do is just try and get that logo in the middle of the frame. And then you, again, make sure you hand tighten these bolts first. If you don't hand tighten them, then again, you can easily cross thread these. It's a lightweight stem, so they're made using aluminium. So it's easy to change the course of the thread. So just turn everything in by hand first. Don't start getting a tool and tightening it up when it doesn't want to, because it will just go in the wrong way. So just tighten. You can see very easy, just by hand. That's how it should be. Just tightening that up nicely by hand first. So as tight as you can with your hand first before you use the Allen key. So tighten, 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 tighten. Tighten one, and just tighten these up evenly. So I'm just going round and turning them very slightly so they all adjust and they put the same amount of load on the handlebar, so it's going to be safer. So a little bit more. Bit like doing a car tyre. So if you've got 5 bolts on a car tyre, if you tighten one too much, it will distort the wheel. So you need to do it little by little, bit like with a step, until they're all nice and tight and they're all evenly tight. Okay. Okay, so what I would do now is just check all your bolts, go through and just check that everything is tight. And I would do this normally as well once the child's ridden it for the first few times. Just make sure you check everything, like a shakedown test, just to make sure that if anything needs tightening, it's tight. It's very easy in the excitement to miss something or not tighten something enough. So just tighten. So what I often do is you just want to put your own weight on the frame and just test that it's all strong. And as I said, the main issue may be that if the glue isn't tight, isn't mixed correctly, you can get the bamboo debonding. But if it's set, these are super strong frames, and you can even try this yourself. When the child first uses it, I'd use it on a field, on the grass, just to get them used to it, and so they can get a feel for the bike, and if they fall, they're just falling on grass. But I'd love to see what you guys come up with. You know, maybe you do blue, maybe you do pink, maybe you do Thomas the Tank stickers. So you can finish this in any way you want. It's really about creating something unique for your child and making something really cool. So I'm really excited to see what people can do. And this is why we've come up with this kind of entry level kit. It's a really basic, quick one to build. And what's really special about this is you get to see your child use this every day. And for me, that's been fantastic. And they're really engaged in cycling, and I feel more engaged because I can see them using something that I've built. So yeah, any questions, just add any questions to the comment. I really appreciate you supporting Bamboo Bicycle Club, enjoying the builds, and please join and share in our community. Thanks for watching this tutorial series, and I look forward to helping you with anything I can along your build experience.